Hi, just the second part here of my evaluation, and today I'm going to be talking about audience and how I catered for my audience and how I attracted or addressed my audience. So I've touched on this in previous video blogs, but first and foremost I will start by telling you who my audience was. My audience was sort of 15 to 25-year-olds. I decided this because I felt that in the end, the scale of the violence in the film, that was more suited to a 15, and also I felt that the character that I'd used as the main character, he was probably of the age of around about 20, so I felt, that's somebody that in between the 15 and 25 age bracket is someone that that age group can sort of connect with, empathise with, and really, establish a connection with. So that was really first and foremost why I chose them as a target audience, purely because of my characterisation. How do I attract them? I would say, again, from the character, really. The character was designed to attract them, and also perhaps other sort of bits and pieces around the character. So sort of like the fact that he seemed like an ordinary person. Again, that is someone who the audience can connect to, which I felt was the most important thing, because obviously it's okay having all these impressive things, but it's not something that I feel that the audience can connect with. Say, like high-speed car chases in sort of cars that, it's that the audience aren't going to be able to relate to. I mean, it'll impress them, but it's not something that they can relate to. And I felt that this film really, I wanted it to be something that the audience can relate to and enjoy at the same time. And I think that this is a good balance. And that would be how I attracted the audience, by providing a sense of realism. Like the things that the main character does, are quite sort of typical. I mean, obviously, yes, he is sort of a crime fighter, but his everyday life is normal, and I think that if you make him appear normal, then it can make the audience feel that they're just like that person, which I think that is a good selling point. I think also we sort of addressed the audience by sort of making them feel quite sort of shocked, and also sort of not knowing what to expect. For example, in the opening series again, you've got the immediate sort of sense of enigma. You don't know who the two people are who meet in the alley, and then one of them gets killed, and you just don't know who they are, and so that is the one way that I'd say the audience is sort of addressed and attracted to. So yeah, I'd say that is probably one of the main things, really how it got the audience on side, as well as the character, sort of the enigma, not knowing what's going to happen, making them wanting to watch on, because ultimately, in an action film, that is probably the most important thing. You've got to maintain your audience's interest, because, as well, especially in an action film, it's one of the films that if you switch off for sort of 20 minutes, you've probably missed something, and you've got to keep them on their toes at all the time, and I think that we have done that. And yeah, another thing that I'll touch on is how I've addressed various social groups in this film. I'd say perhaps I first and foremost, the main character, he is designed to be sort of the age 19 and 20, and I'd say perhaps I have gone by sort of stereotypical values of a teenager, sort of, because at the start you see the character lounging around in his house, not really up to much, which that presents a fairly stereotypical view of an average teenager, sort of just lounging around, not doing much, not offering much to society. But then there's the flip side of that, which is where the character is a crime fighter, which obviously saving society, and that's a good thing. And I think that's that's a subversion of a stereotypical attitude to teenagers, and it shows that perhaps it shows an aspirational role model. Obviously, maybe not for the audience to go out and be crime fighters, but perhaps for them to just go out and make a difference in their lives, make a difference in their community. Go and do some outreach projects. Make a difference, and I think that is a good sort of basis. Again, the evil sort of elements to the film. The criminal, he's probably in his 30s, and he's probably describe him as working class, but I think that really it's not really a specific representation as such. I just think that really I've just really conformed with the schema of what people would expect of a criminal, to sort of be sort of disclosed, not sort of shown too much. And I think that's perfectly reflected by the way I've covered his face. It made him just see his sort of eyes, because I think eyes quite a lot of the time can tell how characters feel, and obviously I don't think there is a shot in there in particular of his eyes, but I think maybe that's something that could have been explored later on in the film. So I wouldn't say, when I penciled down the age of this character, I wouldn't say that I specifically wanted to represent that group. I would say that I'm probably more wanted to just really abide with sort of what the audience would expect of a criminal, really, because I think when I've changed various things like the characterizations and stuff of the main character, made them seem like an ordinary person, I still think that perhaps you've got to have that one element that is, shall we say, as you would expect, and I'd say generally as you'd expect. I think that's really it. Just to recap, really, I've been talking about audience and who this aimed for, how I think that I have attracted them, or maybe not attracted them either. But thank you very much.